Vitality, you've got the Nash's Tooth Complete, the Manamune and the Sheen on Comp, Abyssal Mask on Cabochard. But then on the other side of things, Zazi does have his Rod of Ages stacking up, and he's going towards possibly Trinity Force, possibly Lich Bane second on this Twisted Fate.
That's kind of what I'm expecting, Medic. I think that just getting that early Lich Bane is really valuable, especially when you're already rolling 1-0-2 right now, but involved in every single kill. So I think that's pretty cool. We also see the Hextech GLP for GenX just being completed, adding a little bit more utility to his kit, not going for the more damage-orientated route with the Proto Belt that we sometimes see. Or he maybe end up building that a little bit later. We'll have to wait and see. But I think a lot of these itemizations are like very big spikes, and you can already see SK starting to roam around the map. Zazi has his ultimate up and available. The Rift Herald is now alive. And the thing that we haven't really spoken about is that Trick also has invisibility, can also leap onto your face. And so this is where Vitality have to start playing a lot more cautious. Vision is extremely important. And Medic, we actually know that Vitality has some of the best vision that we have in our league.
Well, usually we focus on it around when they're taking Baron, but across the board, Vitality are just really good at getting vision and then getting opponent's vision off the map. They have a 1.6 control ward a minute placement on average, and that means that they're first in the league for that, but also their vision score is the highest in the league. Part of that is because they like to set up around Barons later on, they like to clear out a lot of vision, but also because Labrov is really good at teaming up with, well, it was NG, and making sure they get vision across the jungle.
But when you only have to look at the minimap to have a look at this vision setup, you can see that there are wards littered literally everywhere. They've got a bit of vision over this side, they've got some wards over around the bot side. Obviously, they were committing towards this bot tower as well, but they invested a lot towards making sure, and I really like this little ward here as well, because they're recognizing, okay, Twitch could sit in this brush, look for a pick, want to make sure that I have some information there, but it's the fact that they've done their best to stop Zazi from roaming to bot lane, which I think they actually did a really great job of early on in the game. And then, of course, unfortunately, that play that they tried to make ended up being countered by a very quick response from SK. But I think that vision control so far this game has been good, and control wards this game are very important when playing against these kind of champions.
Oh, definitely. You just need to make sure that you have as much awareness of where everyone is as possible. Trick here has snuck in on a control ward, and he's invisible. Melissa doesn't know, and Melissa goes in. Trick gonna go in there with the final chapter, and goodbye Azir. Taken out in a heartbeat. The Cord of the Forge got popped by Cabochard, but Trick once again can just run away with that invisibility. And you can see how deadly it can be there, because Melissa had take the Kha'Zix mid lane, and we just need one more invisibility as GenX caught out just a tad, but Skeens and Labrov will not be able to find their map.
These are the type of comps where my KDA gets ruined in solo queue, because
just play behind, just play safe, Fetty.
There's no such thing as just playing safe. Melitza had his support there.
He went in, he could have not gone in, Fetty.
Just never make a play, because they might be. But look, Melitza's positioning, he's not egregious here. He's like, oh, I'm just getting a bit of poke. Okay, I admit, yeah, okay. He does go in for a play there, and that's the moment that SK strike. So you just shouldn't do that, I guess. Fair enough. But yeah, that's what you always have to be very careful of, because every time you try to make a play, it's very easy for SK to just show up unannounced because of the ability, not only their mobility, but the fact that they have all these invisible tools as well to just overall be very obnoxious.
It's just so difficult for Vitality to know what is going on. Labrov's going to try and chase GenX here. Comp coming through the magical journey as well, but GenX steals away the Temper Fate. Pop that bad boy. Give yourself a little bit of gold, give yourself a little bit of time, but in fact he catches Skeens and Cabochard, and Comp tanks up the tower because of that. The GLP will get some slows down, and GenX will escape alive.
Now, that was actually really well played by GenX. That's going to delay Vitality from securing that top tower, giving SK a bit of a tempo advantage, allowing them to move around the map first. You can see that they're actually pushing and committing to this tier 2 in the bot tower, so thanks to that play from GenX, SK is actually getting a lot from it, largely because Vitality will not be getting a kill on the other side. So very crucial. This can also allow SK to secure the Drake, which they're going to jump onto right now. And we will, of course, be having that Cloud Soul as I remove that circle from your screen.
Hey, Twitch chat was going crazy for that circle. Bring back the circle. That's what they're going to be spamming for the next little while. But I want to come back to some of the discussions that we had in draft here, Vedius, just about like the expectation as we develop through the game. Because when I look at a front-to-back team fight, I always think of it as like they should just get stronger as the game goes on. And we said SK need to get some early wins. They're about 2,000 gold ahead now. But the discrepancy between the two teams doesn't feel so great to me yet that SK can win out in those 5v5s.
Well,
I might be.
I mean, it's difficult to say because the things that I look at when comparing things like straight up teamfight value is number one, mid laners.
Sure.
Mid laners are extremely important in the current meta. As again, I removed that other circle.
Bring back the circle.
The circle's persistent, I'll tell you that. So Azir versus Twisted Fate. In a typical team fight, like Azir's going to out DPS the Twisted Fate pretty significantly, right?
Yep.
But Twitch should out DPS that Ezreal. Ooh, as we see a good pick here. Oh, but the Bard ultimate actually catches Zazie too.
I think Zazie's still pretty dead
think he's
here.
pretty dead, yeah.
Not really much he could do.
So you can see, and I mean, like, this is the best team fight example, but when they're grouped up as 5, Vitality's comp is very strong,
Yeah.
right? It's difficult for SK to just stop them doing what they want, because it's very easy for them to find engages, collapse on the team, and ultimately look for a fight. SK want to be finding skirmishes and picks, and right now it is SK who are ultimately getting picked off as Vitality. I mean, I think they committed a little hard to that play,
the
especially when there was
CP on the ward felt a little bit strong.
there was no Drake on the bot side of the map either, and if there was a Drake, then I think it would have made a little bit more sense. But yeah, we can see here Zazie. I think this was a bit of a misplay from Zazie because he should have recognized after witnessing the red buff being stolen that this tower doesn't belong to you anymore, and with no information on who is top or who is bot. Jax TP'd in for a flank.
Oh, Genax, sorry, yeah, not Skins. Yeah.
These circles are persistent, Medic.
Yep. Brett did give me a little word asking if it was broken, so maybe you want to have a chat with him and just see what's going on as I will fill in a little bit of time. There's a 1,000 gold lead between the two teams, two dragons sitting on SK, and it's actually Last Whisper third here for Crown Shot. I was always wondering if you'd go for an Infinity Edge, because you can see Runan's Infinity Edge is really powerful on Twitch. You get a lot of damage across the board. But a Last Whisper, when you're going into an Iceborne Gauntlet, a Sunfire Cape, a Ninja Tabi sitting on the Lee Sin, makes a lot of sense. Crown Shot early flashes there.
Yeah, he had to. He was worried the Skins had flash. He didn't. But, you know, the fact that Crown Shot...
I mean, it's such a close timer. It's one of those, like...
It's one of those things where Crown Shot definitely did the correct thing and just flashing away there. So he's going to get away with his life, but that was very close. Skins almost finding that pick. And you can see how Vitality have kind of wrestled back control over the map right now, because even though they're actually ahead in towers, they're keeping the waves pushed up, they're not really being threatened anywhere, and this Twitch is actually being kept into the mid lane right now as wave clear duty, which is not really what you want. You want that Twitch roaming around, looking for picks, trying to attack the side lane, and Vitality are doing whatever they can to try and mitigate that. So they push out one wave, and you can see the Ezreal right now moving from bot into mid. The Azir is going to do the same thing.
Oh, here goes Trick.
Let's see if Skins get picked off.
There goes Skins. Like ships in the night, they pass each other. Trick here with the Void Assault, gets some damage down onto Lebrov, but Trick's in the middle of all of them right now. The final chapter comes out, and Trick kills Lebrov. A second goes down as Skins will fall. Melita tries to come in from the side, but SK just continue to chase. Zazie kills Comp, and what looked like Trick being totally outmanned in this jungle has turned entirely in favor of SK. One more to the scoreboard as SK take 4 in the fight.
Well, there are those Kha'Zix buffs that we were talking about. That was pretty crazy. Yuumi plus Kha'Zix just showcasing the power of that invisibility plus cat combo. SK found a very crucial pick. Notice that they didn't commit to a full-on 5v5 there. That was literally just Trick being sneaky and obnoxious.
Skirmishes as well.
Yeah, it was just... They took advantage of the fact that Vitality were clearing out their sideways and they caught them in the rotation. So here, 3 members of Vitality are gaining vision around the top side Baron, because Vitality want to set up for this Baron objective. So Trick, look, he's just being really obnoxious. He's dancing around, he's using the Yuumi ultimate, he locks up 3. Crown Shot safe on the right. Trick is attacking from the left. And it's not a 5v5. This is a 3 versus 4, which SK take advantage of. Meanwhile, Comp gets picked off by Zazie, and Melitza can't really get involved in the fight because the rest of his team is dead. So just really good navigation of the fight here from SK to be able to win out and secure themselves the Baron.
And you can see Lebrov was trying his hardest with the Oracle's alteration. He was like, hey, I can try and at least give you a silhouette of where this bug is going to be, where this cockroach is, so you can try and squash him, but you can't catch a Kha'Zix like that. You don't have the ability to lock him down. You can't auto-attack him. Just trying to use Mystic Shots or something to get the damage down. Well played there from SK, of course. You can see Crown Shot topping out the damage numbers. And now with Baron buff, they can finally look to take their 3rd turret of the game. They will retreat for the moment because there's a Dragon up in 10 seconds. And they want to get towards Soul Point just that little bit quicker.
So SK in a very commanding position right now. As you rightly said, we'll look to secure this Drake. And as we kind of ease into a bit of downtime, it's also important to reinstate how important this game is for the standings. You heard Ender mention it on the analyst desk, but because of how close our standings are, as we get closer to playoffs, things like head-to-head records are going to be very important. And Vitality won their first game against SK in the first half of the split. So SK winning this one is very important because it makes them 1-1. And when you think about how close the standings are, Medic, that's going to be extremely valuable later on.
When we have 5 teams tied at 4 and 5, it's so important for you to be able to pick up these extra wins, get to a 50% win rate at least for SK if they take it. And of course, a thing that I didn't expect to say at the halfway mark of the split is one of those teams tied up there is Origen, and both these teams have already beaten Origen. So when you get towards those head-to-head records later, when you get towards those matchups later, having extra wins against opponents who are close by is just so vital, Vedius.
Yeah, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Origen in those matchups later and give these two teams a little bit of safety as well. So this game is super important. A lot of our games today are going to be very important and very telling for what we can come to expect later on in the split. What this game has already showed me is that SK still willing to invest and believe a lot in Crown Shot, as it looks like Comp's dead.
Yep. Can't really see what's happening, but as the Destiny comes in, he's got that Tempered Fate holding him just for the moment. Trick will sink in the claws though and get the kill. And they have invested in Crown Shot, but they've also invested in Trick this game. It's been the Limit Trick duo that has been roaming around finding
I feel like it's just been Yuumi plus anyone duo. The fact that you can just jump onto anyone in this team and have huge value, you can see that even after the nerfs, Yuumi posing a massive threat. I actually think he has a 100% kill participation so far. So mad props to Limit there. And SK now, even though their Baron buff has ended, looking to secure themselves another tier 2 tower.
Yeah, can have an 8,000 gold lead now. Vedius is snowballed up after they won that fight up towards Baron. 25 minutes in, they are in a commanding position. Here comes the call of the Forge God from Genax. Can't even hit the Ornn, the widest of the champions that he could have been aiming for. But I do want to give credit to SK, because when we were in the draft, we were saying, you know, this isn't a conventional SK composition. This was very different from what we've seen them do. And although they still have the key carries, you know, Crown Shot's still having a really good game, Zazi's having a good one, Trick's having a good one, I'm enjoying the experimentation. And considering they had a 2-week break week, basically, from the end of week 4 to now, it's been just a good development to see them grow. Skeen's going to hit the kick here, and Trick will be killed.
Yes. Yes, he will.
Yeah, just stayed around a little bit too long.
He was sitting in a brush. Vitality, their spidey senses were tingling. They spotted him out. And
Oracles.
Yeah, it was the Oracle. So they knew he was there. They interacted the back. They jumped over the wall. They committed a lot. That was an Ezreal ultimate, an Ornn ultimate. But he kicks him into the Ornn ultimate.
So I've seen Ender do this before. Skeens is 3 levels down in jungle. He's like, no matter what, this guy's out jungled me this entire game, I'm going to kick him in the face. I'm going to take him down at least once before we lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, worth, you know, cost the kill.
Jungle diff.
And the game's not quite over yet. I think that if Vitality could get a good team fight, then it's very possible. That the problem is that Crown Shot's hella fed.
Yep.
Like, woo, that's a scary little rat-cat combo.
Yep. Cat-rat. Rat-cat. I'm not... I've been working them both in my head, and I'm not sure which one I prefer more,
it's
but you can see...
Rat-a-tat-tat-cat.
The Rat-a-cat-cat. Rat-a-cat-tat-cat.
The
Rat-a-tat-a-cat.
Wait, was it Rat-a-tat-tat?
Rat-a-tat-tat is the name of the ultimate.
No, it's Spray and Pray now, because it was Spray and Pray.
Yes.
They changed it to Rat-a-tat-tat. We got very upset.
I'm sorry.
We changed it back to Spray and Pray.
I'm so sorry, Vedius, please.
It was that bothered me a lot.
It bothered me too, because Rat-a-tat-tat isn't as good to say as
But now it's Rat-a-cat-tat.
Rat-a-cat-tat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're dead. That's
Rat-a-cat-tat splat.
Rat-a-cat-tat splat. Okay, you got to get into the next fight now.
Okay, here we go.
Rat-a-cat.
You talk
splat.
until that moment happens, and then I'll do it. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, okay. What he's looking for? Oh, but there's no cat, so it doesn't count. Oh, but Trick lying in wait. They go and they kick him.
Rat-a-tat-cat splat. He just isn't quite died yet as the Crown Shot goes golden for the moment. Here goes the cat. He's on him. Crown Shot is being healed up. Rat-a-tat-tat splat. He gets comp. That's one, but the fight is actually going in favor of Vitality now as Melissa goes in, gets another 4v2. Zazi and Genax trying to defend. But here comes the call of the Forge God. Cabochard isn't done with this yet, but the rest of his team seems to be, as they have walked off to the back of the fight.
Well, we did talk about it. Vitality could still hold their ground in this game if they can just get one good team fight off, and they were able to start this team fight by finding a crucial pick onto Crown Shot.
Pinging Baron.
It was he who was left in the mid lane. He was not in a position to get out of there, and while it almost looked like they were able to turn it around, Vitality still won the fight. Now they have their eyes set on the Baron. They're going to be able to secure this before SK can be in position. Now, Zazi does have Unsealed Spellbook, but I'm not sure if he can swap it to... Yeah, it looks like he's not even going to try anyway. Their eyes are straight towards the Drake Soul instead, yep.
Going to try and get that Cloud Drake. Not always the most impactful soul to have, the Cloud Soul, but it will help out SK just a tad here. Vitality might decide to come across and try and deal with this. There's still 5,000 HP on it, and SK will not be able to take it in time. But here comes the Cockroach Cat.
What ults are available? So Melita has it, Skeens has it. There's a lot actually up on the side of Vitality, and all of SKs are up. So
I think the big one is Call of the Forge God, isn't up, right?
But Genax has it, so he can actually start the fight off, and Crownshot is looking for a flank.
That's the shortest destiny I've ever seen, but perhaps it is good for SK. Reposition Fizazi into the river. Here comes Crownshot across the wall as well with the Blast Cone. Vitality trying to pick away. Comp trying to land those mystic shots. Here comes the Call of the Forge God. The Dragon is the target. It's taken by Skeens. He gets the kick. He gets away, but the GLP, the Frozen Hose, will find the kill in the end. Lebov able to escape up towards the top side of this fight. Ends up being a 1-0 in favor of SK, but they lost out on the soul. Trick healed up with the zoomies. And I don't think SK will be able to find anything more out of this fight.
So you can see in a situation like that, it's still very difficult for SK to just straight up find an easy fight. But let's have a look back at this earlier. Crownshot gets collapsed upon by a lot of dashes. Beautiful kick coming in from Skeens and making that play happen. They buy a lot of time for Crownshot, but it's not enough. He ends up going down after all that commitment. And of course, this is what we were talking about, when it's just straight up 5v5 and everyone's bundled up like that, the squishy comp of SK just can't handle the consistent DPS that comes out from the side of Vitality, especially when Crownshot is the one being melted right off the get-go. So really well played fight there from Vitality, and you can see how powerful this Azir really can be if given the space to work his magic.
I mean, he's level 17 Azir, right? He's sitting in such a strong position.
Death Cap as well. I think it's the Death Crown now.
Yeah, I believe he's upgraded it. And the Leandries, the Nash's Tooth. Do want to mention that Crownshot, I believe, had a GA a moment ago. It looks like he's sold that and now has gone Infinity Edge as his fourth item. Because he had the stopwatch, he upgraded it into GA, and I'm pretty sure he's just sold it and now gone for that Infinity Edge. So we will rattle out the damage in this next fight, but at the moment it looks like SK are willing just to hold Vitality at bay. They still have a 5,000 gold lead, although that's been gnawed away at by Vitality in the last little while. And with Baron buffs expiring relatively soon, Vitality haven't got as much out of this as perhaps they would have liked.
I think what Vitality wanted was to stabilize the game a little bit more, because after SK found a bunch of picks and were in a position to secure the Cloud Soul, like, the game was basically doomed.
Sure.
So Vitality needed to find a good fight where they can stabilize, and now the purpose of the Baron has been to, even though there is a 5k gold deficit, it doesn't feel like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because we can see the clear strengths of Vitality's comp, and they are going to use that Baron to try and secure another objective, and SK is just kind of forced to group because it's not easy for them to threaten something like a tier 3 tower and an inhibitor given the current map state. So Vitality just kind of brute forcing their way into SK's comp and saying, come on, come fight us, group up, no more splitting up on the map. And it's that setup. It's the next Drake, it's going to be the next Baron where SK is going to look to try and find these picks, try and catch Vitality out. Whereas Vitality is just going to try and stay as that 5-man group and try and force these fights.
But you can see Vitality doing something we praised them for right at the start of the game. Vision control. They have all of these extra wards. Trick's invisibility only lasts for so long, right? He can only dodge through this vision for so long before he'll be spotted out. So expect them to reset, restock up on wards, and then try and gain control down towards this dragon, because that's up in 2 minutes. Baron actually very close by it as well.
Just trying to remember if Kha'Zix's ultimate is camouflage or invisibility.
So both Twitch and Kha'Zix can't be spotted by control wards.
Sure?
I'm like 99% sure.
See, because now I can't remember the difference between Kha'Zix and camouflage, and now I'm stressing, medic.
Okay, well, you stress. I'll do some Googling.
No, so because I know for a fact that camouflage, right? That's if you're within a certain range, you can see them. Right? Whereas invisibility, it doesn't matter what range you're in. Okay, so Evelynn has camouflage, Twitch has camouflage, and I was...
No, Kha'Zix is invisibility.
Yes, so he's invisibility.
You could tell. Oh, Ender's here. Ender, get on the mic.
He's...
Yeah, Twitch is camouflage, Kha'Zix is invisibility. But control ward doesn't spot any of them.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. Wait, no, he just said camouflage can be spotted by control wards.
Oh, did he? Okay, I'm incorrect.
I knew there was a difference.
This is why we have Ender around. He knows these things. Trick's going in with his invisibility. The final chapter coming out. Not really hitting too many people right now, but Crownshot's already got onto Labrov. And Caboshot on the front line is dead as well. Crownshot just opens up with the rat-a-tat-tat. and it takes 2 kills really quickly, and now it's on Vitality to try and defend in a 3v5.
Crown Shot with the spray and pray does melt through the entire team, but honestly, it was the ultimate from Genax that really sealed the deal because it landed onto so many members and it gave Crown Shot so much space to actually find the fight that he needed to be able to melt through the entire Vitality lineup. This does mean that they will be able to secure themselves an inhibitor, but the Cloud is going to be spawning in about 30 seconds and Baron in about 46, so SK can't actually secure this objective just yet, and they're going to be both looking to reset.
Okay. Do we have a moment here, right?
No,
Vegas?
we don't.
Okay.
I'm actually waiting for the replay to come up in a second.
Okay.
So I wanted to... And Crown Shot is invisible right now. He does have Limit sitting on top of him.
He's going to look to
I
try
actually
and
thought that he
his
would try
way.
and force a pick there. Because, like, notice that his ultimate cooldown is on a very short cool... I say cooldown twice. The cooldown of Crown Shot's ultimate is very low. The Cloud Soul is now being put up as a threat.
It's going to get taken. Trick has it before they can even get there. They didn't really expect Genax and Trick just to take it by themselves, but Vitality were unable to answer. However, with this shortest magical journey in the history of the world, hopefully it's not a toll road, they are now going to go over towards the Baron.
Okay, yeah. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get a replay of that last fight, but it does mean that we can look at this setup for Baron, which going to be started off by Vitality. All the ultimates are available for SK. Genax, let's see whose ultimate he can steal.
Look how far away
They're
Trick is.
melting it right now.
Does he have Smite? He doesn't. The stun card comes in, but already the Dragon has been taken, and the Baron has been taken, and SK might look for a fight, but that magical journey is going to get all 5 of them. They now can flank Trick. They can just jump on him. He's all by himself.
They're
With
trying
that
to just
invisibility.
stop the recalls, I think.
Stop the backs, stop the backs. The Alcove game
No,
is
they
going
wanna
to come
fight
out.
this. Here we
Vitality,
go.
here we go. Big fight. SK looking to try and catch out Vitality. Vitality got stunned up. Crown Shot goes on a rampage. There's 2 for him. Caboshot chased off as well. Comp and Labrov running away, but the stun card lands and Comp is done for. Genax takes him. Caboshot taken out for the 3rd kill of the fight for Crown Shot, and only Labrov can walk away.
So the problem for Vitality was that they clumped up into a small space where Crown Shot could just melt through all 5 of them. He did so much damage in that final team fight, and with only Labrov alive, SK, they should be able to end the game right here, right now. It was pretty back and forth. But unfortunately for Labrov, he will not be able to get away. SK looking to secure themselves first win in the second half of the split.
Well, it was Vitality that started SK's 3-game losing streak in week 3, and now SK strike back at Vitality and start the second half of the split with a win.
It was a cool comp from SK. I liked seeing it. I think that